Oh, hello there. I wanted to talk a little bit about, as I do this this daily routine, I guess you would say, I wanted to just talk a little bit about the philosophy behind our our minds and our ambitions and our drives to succeed, and how many times we are told in our lives. I mean, I don't want to assume anything, or I don't want to broaden anything. I think that's one of the things that I detest, is the assumption that because there's statistics, that those that we fit into some sort of statistic because of a precedence. But it's, in my opinion, everything is, I think that's, I don't want to get into, the whole precedence and the whole compartmentalization of society's, corporations, which was developed, geniusly developed, so that to lighten the workload of those in charge, and so that they can enjoy their lives and their success, other than have to do the more important jobs, so that the jobs can kind of manage themselves. But they're in the same the flip side of that is that the cracks are so big that there is very little accountability or very little paper trail left. And so there's a lot of opportunity for like I said, on accountability. And I do believe that is something that we will change in the future, and that's when we need to understand that we are all in this together, and that of course we're not all equal. I mean, we're all different, and as such we should have different workloads. However, I believe that once we are doing the things that we enjoy doing, or paying for the crimes that we commit with our time, doing things that we don't enjoy doing, or the work that has to be done as a punishment, which would be a good punishment, but I digress. I think that that's basically where the wellness industry is going, and where I want to go with Calixico and Salutaris, being the candid aspect of having the camera on you, and paying for being compensated with credit. And credit can buy anything from a movie to food to anything you want. And the reason why I mention credit as opposed to cash is that I believe that the credit can be the credit can be used as a cash, but it can't be manipulated by the ones that control the cash. So, and I'm not saying there's no conspiracy theory here. There's no one person, man behind the curtain sort of thing. Everyone answers to somebody, everyone, and that's just, I think that's another thing that we are endeavoring to change, and that is, when you sit down and I think by the time you're a teenager, if you don't know what it is that you enjoy doing, then unfortunately we need to redirect your time a little bit and give you some of the attention that you so rightfully deserve as a human being. And a lot of us enjoy doing a lot of things, and especially the creative ones. And if we don't channel our if we're not doing what we're supposed to be doing, then there is a disconnect, and it's torturous. So I think that's one of the things that needs to be addressed immediately. And then once you put on the gear, the candid gear, and you start to record, you start to do what I'm doing, and you start to get to know yourself, you will know your power, and that you have control over your entire world and everything in it, and that nobody can hold back anything from you. And the key to your kingdom lies within you, and it lies outside of you, it lies everywhere. I believe a wise man once said that if I said to you the kingdom was in the sea, then of course, the fish of the sea would get there first, or have precedence over you, or they would precede you. And if I said, well, the kingdom is in the sky, well, then the birds of the sky would precede you. But if I said to you, no, it is inside of you, and it is outside of you, and it is everywhere, and then each and every one of us would have the opportunity to not only attain some sort of concept of what you think paradise is, but also you would get to know peace, and to get to know acceptance, and to realize that there's no failure, and that what science is learning, and but what our society is learning. And I believe that the demographic, or the society, the age group, if you will, that is coming to a maturity now, they already have a preconceived, or I already have a notion of what the truth is. And I think that's why we embraced reality TV so much, is because it was like, well, finally we're seeing something that is not only real, but I mean, granted, be it the very first the very first try of it wasn't exactly genuine, but at least it wasn't, the canned laughter and the bad acting that we were being served to on a platter, and to be insulted with lies after lies after lies, and even the liars are on their deathbed, so to speak, and saying, I can't go to the long good night without saying the truth and what I know. And it's not as everything's it's not dramatic or evil. It's just certain things were done in order to achieve certain goals, and it's not nefarious. A lot of times people are compromised. A lot of times people don't even realize the truth behind the cliche, the truth will set you free. And it's funny because the more I was in a relationship once, and it was I'm a serial monogamous, so it was like the first out of my 2 relationships. Now he used the truth like a weapon, and it was something that was very cold in this house, and I've got the sniffles. And the irony was that this person would throw the truth at me as if he was as if he was, what's the word I'm looking for? As if he was excused, or as if he was, everything was okay because he told the truth. It didn't matter how much it hurt, because at least he told the truth. And then where on the flip side, a young and impressionable me would get horribly reprimanded and horribly disciplined if I was to tell the truth, and heaven forbid. So I would. So lying became my way of life, my way of being, and then the guilt. And I'm not saying lying about committing murder. I'm saying lying about being, a girl always aspires to please and to be. To please and to be attention, and I think it's attention and approval, and you seek that, especially if you have issues about. I think I'm not. Everybody's different, but I believe that I believe that once we are able to put on the weapon, the armor of truth, and use it, and be paid for your your thoughts, in any kind of way, shape, or form, I believe you'll see a lot of change in the world and in the way things are. But it's interesting how I feel that I am, and this is all, I'm not saying this is, some sort of conspiracy, but I believe that the closer I come to revolutions, and the more I want to sabotage myself, be it procrastination, or just self-doubt and loathing, and so it's hard. Even doing this is hard, and I know how ridiculous I sound, and if I don't sound ridiculous, I certainly feel ridiculous, and I am ridiculous, but you know what's ridiculous, what's the root word of ridiculous? Ridicule. So bring it on, I'm ready, but bring it on with a sense of intelligence. And I'm not talking about intelligence with academia. God forbid. I feel sorry for you if you were unable to experience life through firsthand, and instead we're forced to. Well, I mean, school was always fun, but we're forced to memorize facts that you are now realizing are in fact fiction. And so I'm really looking forward to today and tomorrow, and I just pray that I have the capacity to go beyond a superficial, judgmental, self-deprecating thoughts, and to aspire to be exactly what I was put on this earth to be. And